We're all here. I got a note from our foreperson. Judge Jones, we cannot come to a unanimous decision as to a verdict. Thank you, foreperson. So that's pretty much it. We gave them the Allen charge. They went back and presumably abided by it. They've been out, and so.
The only thing I would proffer, perhaps if we sent them home and told them we'd bring them back tomorrow to give a one last try. I mean, we put 3 weeks into this trial. They've only been deliberating for less than a full day. Juries have often spent days deliberating. It's almost 5 o'clock. I mean, if Your Honor is inclined to think that way, or if you want to just go ahead and.
Your Honor, if I might.
Yes, sir.
I would assume discharge the jury at this point. Let them go home.
Okay.
It has been a long trial already. We asked, Your Honor was worried about the time, and they've been here almost a month.
I'm looking for the right way to express this. To me, it's disappointing that we go through this lengthy process and don't get a result, one way or the other. And there's been a lot of time, money, effort, stress, you name it. Everybody's worked very hard, and it's been almost 3 weeks, and you would hope at the end of that process you would get a result. We haven't. I understand the state's suggestion, but I'm disinclined to do it. I'll just fall back on a couple rationale. First of all, when I've been faced with these situations, and they do come up now and again, I give them the Allen charge. They are unable to reach unanimity. That's pretty much it. And plus, even the charge itself, and I'll go back and read it, says, I'll declare a mistrial if you can't reach a unanimous verdict. I think it would be disingenuous and counterproductive and not fair to
Does
tell.
anyone even inquire of them if they feel that maybe a night to everybody to sleep on it, come back tomorrow and reconvene would be beneficial?
Again, Your Honor, I disagree at this point. I mean, even looking
It's
at.
all right. I'm not going to do it. I believe me. Last thing I want is a mistrial, but we're there. I told them, the Allen charge says, after you have done that, if you simply cannot reach a verdict, then return to the courtroom, and I will declare this case mistried and will discharge you with my sincere appreciation. So I understand the suggestion, but I'm not going to do that, to say, okay, sleep on it, come on back tomorrow, or how about that? And then, sorry, certainly understand and pretty well express my sentiments, but I just have not seen that procedure over the length of time I've been a judge and a trial lawyer, and it seems contrary to what the rule says and doesn't say. So, no thank you. Let me find the discharge instruction. Which is, I've got to remember what that number instruction is. 4.2. There it is. Okay. Bring them in. Please be seated, everyone. Welcome back, members of the jury. I've received the latest communication, shared it with the defendant and the prosecutors. I'll recite it now. Judge Jones, we cannot come to a unanimous decision as to a verdict. Thank you, foreperson. So, you remember the Allen charge I read you when we first were notified of this deadlock, and I told you that if you simply cannot reach a verdict, then return to the courtroom and I will declare this case mistried. So that's at this point what I'm going to do. If you all can't reach a unanimous verdict, then I accept that fact. I'm going to declare this case a mistrial. So with that, I'm going to give you a final instruction here, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. So it's been almost 3 weeks. As I've told you throughout, and I sincerely meant it every time, and I mean it now. You've been a great group of people. You've been very flexible. You've been very understanding. You've been very patient. You've been very attentive. And obviously, you gave it your best consideration. We can ask nothing more than that. So thank you. I will say this also about this case has received substantial media coverage, and I'm confident that you all have insulated yourself from that, as I have asked you to do. I have no doubt that you followed my cautionary instructions to the letter, and I thank you for that. But meanwhile, there's been certainly a lot of coverage. You see the TV cameras have covered this on Court TV. I believe there's a YouTube channel that's covered it as well as the print media. So as I said in this particular instruction, now it's up to you to decide whether to protect your privacy as a juror. There may be requests from many different sources, and you will make that decision as to how you want to handle that. You're no longer under that order that I gave you about not talking to anybody about the case. It'll be up to you. So with that, thank you so much, folks. You're now discharged as a jury in this case.